Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video. It is Hugo here, and it's been almost a year since I last posted on my YouTube channel, and I figured, why not come back strong, come back and give you guys an update. And I figured, hey, I wanted to come back and give you guys a really value-packed jam video, which you guys are able to implement stuff right away. And since, I got so many comments on my last video on email marketing, on diving into more of the technical stuff, going deeper into a few topics, and I wanted to, take this video as an opportunity to go through all of that. For those of you who are interested in starting an email marketing agency and you want to know the nitty-gritty and step-by-step guide on how to start your own agency in 2024 and 2025, this is going to be a super valuable video, so I want you to pay attention, take notes. So without further ado, let's dive into the nitty-gritty. Step is agency foundations. We're going to cover, how to set up your agency, how to make sure that your agency performs the right way, how to build it properly. Number 2 is niche choice. So which vehicle will you pick? Will you choose e-com? Will you choose info products? Will you serve, agencies? Will you serve, software companies? Part 2 is where you figure out which niche you want to operate in. Number 3 is the key email marketing flows. So what are the few flows which generate the most revenue for most brands and businesses? We'll be going through that step-by-step in Klaviyo today. Number 4 is systems for success. Tips and tricks that I've learned over the years, some valuable stuff that I'm sure that you guys will love. Number 5 is pricing and deals. How do we price? How do we charge our clients? And number 6, I'm gonna go over some bonus stuff that you guys are able to implement right away. All right, so a brief run through of the foundation. So first of all, we wanna set up your domain. So www.youragencyname.com. You wanna buy that on Namecheap or GoDaddy. I have that here, right? You can use Namecheap, you can use Google Workspace, you can use Squarespace, or you can use GoDaddy. Next step is have a sales page or a funnel. So I would use ClickFunnels, I could use Go High Level, or I could use Shopify to build those. But I would recommend if you're doing email marketing with Klaviyo, then I'll recommend you also get a Shopify account, so then you can integrate that with Klaviyo and then practice for your practice flows, sending campaigns for yourself before doing that for clients. So that's actually how I started out in 2019 when I first started dropshipping. I actually learned Klaviyo just by dropshipping first, and then I started providing that as a service to people. So next thing is offer and deck. What type of offer are you selling to these people? You want to figure out what type of niche that you're selling in, and on top of that, you want to figure out what type of offer you're selling in that niche. And then you want to come up with a deck or a presentation or a sales presentation that sells your service or sells yourself or sells your business, so then you're able to sign these clients daily and make your first 5 to 10K a month online remotely as an email marketing agency owner, right? So next really important thing is you actually don't need to have a registered business company name. You don't have to have that domain name be the same as that. Some people ask me, hey Hugo, I want to start an agency. Do I have to set up, a corporation, and do I have to name my agency the same name as that corporation? So if I name my corporation XLLC, do I have to name my agency XLLC? Like, that's a question that I get a lot. This might be a dumb question, but you don't have to do that. You just have to come up with a name. It doesn't have to be the same as your registered corporation or business name. All right, as I said before, sales pages, websites, and funnels, you do not need to have those when you're running an email marketing agency. All you pretty much need is a calendar and something to actually connect with your lead, right? You need to have Instagram so you can connect with them. You need to have email so you can connect with them. It's just something that you can, touch base with them on. And all you need pretty much after that is a calendar. But if you want to build a sales page, if you want to build a website, if you want to build a funnel, go ahead and do that. Some people do look for those too, so it doesn't hurt you to have that. But if you have a really bad sales page, if you have a really bad website and bad copy on that, then it actually does more harm than good. You could also use WordPress and connect that with Klaviyo. So if you have a WordPress account, you can integrate WooCommerce, and then you can then integrate Klaviyo with that, and then practice Klaviyo on your WordPress website if you want to. And logos. I just figured that I want to put this in here because it's super valuable. You can make logos really quick with Midjourney. Also with Luca, you can just make logos really quickly on AI, so you don't have to really pay someone to make a logo for you. And again, logo, you don't have to have a logo. You don't even have to have a website. I'm just saying that these things help, and I have these for my own agency, so there's no reason why I shouldn't recommend it to you guys. All right, so here's a sales page or a funnel example of someone I know, Shakir. I'm not sure if you guys know him. He owns salesfunnels.com, I think. And this is his offer. We've built over 1, 2, 5, 7 high ticket funnels for clients. Here's what we've learned that you can use right now to grow your business. So it's pretty much just like a sales funnel, giving a really promising headline and asking us to book a call with them, right? That's the first one. This second one, so this is a freebie turning into a sales call, right? So it's actually pitching us a blog service, right? So turn your business blog into a 7-figure revenue channel in 1 to 2 years using the ski slope strategy. A business owner might be looking into writing blogs, or e-commerce brand might be looking into writing blogs for their website, and they're like, hey, let me take a look at this, and then you upsell them your agency service right after that, right? It's pretty much a low ticket funnel here. If you guys don't know what a low ticket funnel is, comment down below low ticket funnel, and I will go through a tutorial on what a low ticket funnel is, because I use that right now for a lot of my clients generating millions a month. Low ticket funnel is really working right now. Next agency example is of a fellow agency founder called Eddie Malouf. I'm pretty sure if you guys have been in the agency space for a while now, you might know him. He's the founder of Bad Marketing. Co-founder, actually. The other co-founder is Ashton Shanks, also a very good marketer. But their website looks not really like a funnel at all, right? It looks more so like a website. And as I said before, just linking back to my point, more businesses nowadays and more e-com brands are looking into working with agencies with a more well-designed website, because hey, if you can't design your own website, why should you design our ads, right? Or why should you design our emails? So if you have the capital, if you have the time, spend some time building out like a website, which does help you out. Make sure that you build it out well, right? There's a second website example of another fellow agency founder called Carl Weisch. He does CRO, German dude. Very, very smart guy. He owns Accelerated Agency, and they do CRO for businesses. And as you can see, he has a very, very kind of clean, kind of professional website. But then he also has a VSL here, right? So I recommend that you guys also create a VSL for yourself. It's not that hard to film. All you have to do is just create a video just like this, going through your offer, going through why you can help the business, going through why other businesses can't help them. Going through also, why other things that the business owner have tried doesn't work, and why you are the only solution that will work for them, right? So that's pretty much a VSL, and that's an example as well. And then I want you guys to actually start implementing these for yourself as well. Start writing VSLs for your own agency. Now let's move on to picking your niche. So which niche should you choose when you're starting an email marketing agency? Which niches should I not choose? Which niches should I watch out for? So when I first started my e-commerce email marketing agency in 2021, so this was almost 4 years ago, I started off in the e-commerce niche, right? So I started in the DTC, I started selling products, but then I branched out to selling BizOp, selling digital products, working with education companies and scaling their emails. And also you could branch out to B2B, like SaaS, real estate, consulting, manufacturing, financial services, maybe even construction, law firms, accounting firms. I currently don't really work much in these fields, but I am kind of diving my toes into SaaS and real estate because I am working with a few businesses in that niche. Common question that I get all the time is, hey Hugo, which software should I use to send these emails for my clients? Should I use Klaviyo? What should I use? I don't even know what there is on the market, right? So you could use a couple different softwares if you're selling BizOp and info products. So I would recommend you use ActiveCampaign for BizOp and selling digital products, and use Klaviyo if you're selling e-commerce. I've also used MailerLite and ConvertKit. I know a lot of personal brands use ConvertKit. That's pretty good too. But overall, my favorite would be ActiveCampaign. Now let's dive into the key email marketing flows using email marketing, and you can copy and paste the setup and set this up for your own clients. And as I said before, it's a step-by-step tutorial, so I want this to be super valuable for you. So let's dive into Klaviyo right now and go into step-by-step flows. So just before we dive into the step-by-step Klaviyo live tutorial, I actually have I don't even know how many pages this is, but this is a step-by-step Google Doc PDF step-by-step Klaviyo tutorial on how to set up each individual flow. If you want access to this PDF, all you gotta do is click in the description below, join my free school community so you can get free access and instant access to this, so you can start implementing this step-by-step. I usually charge $5,000 for this, but this is a step-by-step tutorial, okay? So I'm not only showing you how to do one flow, I'm showing you how to do many, many flows step-by-step. So make sure you click on the link in the description, join my free school community, and get access to this free doc instantly. A bit of background: we generate over 20 million in email sales per year, over maybe $2 million a month for a couple brands. As you can see here, the abandoned checkout flow generated $742K in 3 months. With $65 per recipient. So that's every person on your email list, you're making $65. That is disgusting. That's insane, right? And as you can see here, revenue from Klaviyo is 37%, right? Compared to the total revenue, right? Which means that almost half of your business is coming in from email. And you as an agency owner, if you're offering this as a service and you're making them over 50% of their business every single month, making them so much money, even charging 10K a month, 20K a month, they wouldn't even bat an eye at that, depending on the profit margins, of course. But this just goes to show that I am no different from you. I just learned this step by step, and now you have access to learn this step by step too with the free Google Docs step-by-step guide. So go into the school community, download that doc, come say hi. I would love for you guys to join. It's free, just come join. So before we dive into the live setup phase, a lot of Klaviyo experts make this mistake, all right? So I want you guys to just pay attention real quick here. integrate your Shopify store with Klaviyo first before you start doing anything. Make sure the Shopify badge says enable. All right, and make sure all flows / pop-ups are in draft mode. All right, a lot of people, when they start editing Klaviyo, they have everything in live mode, and when they're not even finished editing the flow yet, and people are just seeing random shit on their store, which looks really bad. Also, when you're creating lists on Klaviyo, make sure that you take single opt-in on lists rather than double opt-in, because if people opt into your atmosphere or opt into your list, and they have to go to their email and confirm that they want to opt in, that's going to have a lot of drop off. So from our experience, you have almost at least a 40%, 50% drop off rate. So pretty much everyone who's signing up to your email list, you're only getting 50% of that, right? Because a lot of people don't double confirm. So you want to make sure that you have single opt-in ticked. All right, so now let's dive into the live flow. So first of all, I want to go through how to create. So this is the dashboard here. So this is a demo account. I haven't really done much with this account yet, so this is for the purpose of this video. First of all, let's go in the left side corner. I just want to give you guys a live kind of tutorial here, just off the cuff. So here you can go to home, where you can see your performance, how much you made, your flows here. So you can also go into campaigns. So campaigns are pretty much one-off emails that you send to your list. These are also called blasts, or daily emails. Campaigns are pretty much one-off emails that you send out to your list whenever you want. You can just create a campaign here, you can just name it, you can click on email, click continue, and then you can select a list here. We can go into lists in a second, but then what lists basically is if you go into list and segments here, list is pretty much if someone signs up to your newsletter on your website, that you can enter them into a specific list, right? So let's say go to sign up forms here. Let's say we have this form here. If someone sees this form on your page and he or she puts in their information and they submit the form, you want to actually put them into a list, right? Where can you actually see where these people are coming from? Well, you want to put them into a list. In this case, I named the list sign up via pop-up. So let's go to list here, list and segments, sign up via pop-up, right? So far you can see there's one person who signed up here. Right there, sign up by pop-up, and you can connect that to a sign up form, right? And then when you go into lists, just like how we mentioned just now, you want to go into settings, you want to go to consent, and you want to tick single opt-in. All right, the default's going to be double opt-in, but you want to make sure it's single opt-in. All right, so now let's move on to the key flows. Let's go into the flows right now. So the first most important flow in e-commerce will be the abandoned checkout. So if you want to create this flow in Klaviyo, all you got to do is go ahead and click on create flow. And I'm just gonna click on abandon. So there's a very sneaky thing in Klaviyo actually. In Klaviyo, they don't name it abandoned checkout, they actually name it abandoned cart. So what you have to do is actually type in abandoned cart, and then you just have to take a look, click on each of these, and make sure the trigger says abandoned checkout, not abandoned cart. So let's take a look. So here it says that the trigger is when someone checkout started, which is the proper and the right trigger that we're looking for. And pay attention on the bottom left-hand side corner here. You want to make sure that the Shopify integration is enabled. All right, so if it's not enabled, then Shopify or Klaviyo will not be able to identify whether or not the person has checkout or not, right? So after that, we've selected, and we've named our flow. Let's say test flow abandoned checkout. We can create the flow. So with the abandoned checkout, I tend to be very aggressive with my time delays in my marketing. So I usually would like to go pretty maybe 1 hour or 30 minutes after someone has checked out. I know some dudes who do 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but I usually just use those numbers for SMS. But for 30 minutes for the first trigger, so you want to actually click on abandoned cart. So now that we've created our kind of flow here, I'm going to show you guys just click on the trigger here and go over to profile filters. You want to make sure that there's a filter here which says what someone has or has not done, and you want to make sure that they placed an order 0 times since starting this flow, which means that if they place an order 1 time, they'll automatically be exited out of the flow, because you don't want someone who's just bought to be, you don't want to send them an abandoned checkout email when they bought, right? So you want to make sure that this filter is on, and then secondly, you want to click on the first email here. Scroll down here, and usually this will be checked, but I want you to uncheck that because the abandoned checkout email is super important and you want that to make sure it's sending. Skip recently email profile just means that if anyone has been emailed in the last 16 hours, this email won't be sent out to that person because you don't want to risk annoying them. But in our case, someone showed high intent in their checkout. They actually, tried to buy the product, but they actually just forgot, or they just, figured, hey, I don't want to do this no more. But you just have to give them an extra push. And I usually want to make sure that that email goes through and make sure that it's sent through to them. And the next, time delays really depend on how conservative or how aggressive you want to be in your marketing. As I said, I am very aggressive in my marketing. It also depends on how many campaigns you're sending out every single day. So if you're sending out a lot of campaigns, let's say one every day, then I'll be more conservative with the time delays here. I'll maybe go for maybe 2 days or 3 days. So successfully, maybe if this 1 day here, I'll maybe do 2 days here. So depends on your brand, but for my brand right now, I'm using 10 minutes, 1 hour, and 22 hours. And I'm definitely gonna add more emails here. With your abandoned checkout, ideally you want to have 3 to 4 emails, maybe 5 emails. I have some people know even to do 10 emails. But honestly, the first email should just be, hey, you forgot something, go back to your order. In the second email, I usually include some USPs, some maybe if you have free shipping, include free ship. You say like, hey, we having free shipping. Some bonus, USPs of your brand that would push them over the edge. And then abandoned checkout 3 would be, what I would usually do for abandoned checkout 3 is I would include some testimonials, some reviews, some authority, just to make people, have more sense of trust with your brand. And then with abandoned checkout email 4 and 5, I usually include some urgency or scarcity, just to make people feel like, hey, I don't have much time left to get this product, it might run out soon. Our free shipping ends soon, or your cart might expire soon. Have those messages just to push the customer over the edge. I usually also include discounts towards the end, maybe the 4th or 5th email, just to kind of incentivize the customer to buy from us. So yeah, that's the abandoned checkout flow. The next flow that I wanted to cover is the welcome flow. So let's go ahead and go to create flow here, and then let's go on create welcome. We want to actually select email here, and we click on this one. This is going to be the welcome series. And then here, let's go down to here. It says the prerequisites here is make sure to select your main subscriber list to trigger this flow. So a welcome series is pretty much a flow which kind of welcomes the customer into your brand pretty much. And it usually happens when they subscribe to your pop-up or your kind of newsletter. So when they subscribe to the newsletter, you want to actually have that proper list created. So before I actually create any welcome flows, what you want to do first is, here's a step-by-step tutorial also included in the PDF doc. So if you want the step-by-step tutorial, you can refer to that doc, join my school community and access that free doc. But if you want the video version, you can just watch this video here. But first of all, if you want to create a welcome flow, what you're going to do first is you're going to create a new list. All right, so we're going to create new list, and let's name it pop-up 1. All right, let's name it pop-up 1. Boom. And after that, I'm gonna go to settings, I'm gonna go to consent, and I'm gonna go to single opt-in, right? We want to make sure that we take single opt-in, all right? Fucking make sure you do that, all right? All right, so next thing you wanna do is you wanna go over to create a sign-up form, all right? So you can even create it here, or you can go here and create it, doesn't matter. Just create it. I'm just gonna do email, and then this, as you can see here, it's already linked to the list. So now let's create on next. All right, so now you can make sure if you want your pop-up to be just a pop-up, or if you want it to be the full page, you want it to be from a corner of the screen flying out, or do you want to be embedded into your website? All right, so these are a few choices you can do. I tend to test pop-up and full page. I usually like to do full page, but sometimes pop-up works better. So let's click on that. You can add a teaser, which means that there's a bar at the bottom somewhere which people can click and it will actually pop up. For now, I would include a teaser. All right, so I would always include a unique coupon because people love unique stuff. So I would love to create a unique coupon here, and then you can create a coupon here in Shopify as well. Make sure that you create a coupon in Shopify before you create a discount code in Klaviyo. Or if you create a discount code in Klaviyo, make sure that you immediately create a discount code in Shopify, because a lot of people, I work with a lot of brands, they forget to create that, and people are entering discount codes and they're not getting their discounts. So make sure that you get that done, and make sure that you select the coupon here, and nextly, and boom, we have our pop-up done. Now we just have to edit and make sure that it looks okay, right? So you can choose whether or not you want it to have a left side image or a right side image. Usually I use no image. This is already good enough. Now you can just edit what you want to say on it. know, you can just put like, you know, unlock or get. You can test this as well. Sign me up, no thanks. And make sure that you click on the button here, sign me up, and make sure that the action is submit form, okay? So this actually submits the person into your ecosystem, and make sure that the proper list is selected. And yeah, show me next step. You can, you know, change the font here, wherever you want. You can change the color here. You can change the font here. And of course, definitely make sure you check the sign up step. So after they've entered their email address, you could also go to styles and edit whether or not you want that to be full page, fly out here. And you can also edit the images here, right? For my case, I want no image. And you can also take a look at what it looks like on mobile. Also take a look at what it looks like on desktop. What I also like to do is I like to test 1-step and 2-step. What I can do here is I can add an input form, boom, and require someone to enter their phone number, right? So the placeholder is your phone number, and the profile property will be phone number. You can also make sure it's required so that people have to enter their phone number in order to go to the next step or to get that coupon. After that, they've submitted the form and entered their details. What I also like to add on this step is I'll also like to add a button which allows people to close the form. They have a cross here, but some people don't see it. So you can either make that bigger or add a button here. So it just makes it easier for the person to, hey, okay, now here's my form, I'm just gonna close it, rather than finding the cross button and getting frustrated and clicking off, right? And to make sure after you're done with everything, you can go up to here and click on live. I don't know if I'm a little slow today, guys, but it's 11 p.m. Saturday, it's October 26th, it's Halloween night, everyone's going out. But I'm here giving you guys some sauce, dropping some bombs, bro. Okay, let's go to the next step, which is, you know, we've made our sign up form now, right? So after that, let's make sure that the sign up form will trigger the welcome flow. When someone has signed up, so let's make the welcome flow from scratch. So let's go to sign up forms. Let's go to, let's go to lists, pop up one. All right, so let's imagine that we created our sign up form already. All right, so let's imagine we've created it. Now we can go to flows. So I named the form sign up via pop-up because it's connected to the list sign up via pop-up. The next step is to create a flow with the trigger. Someone enters the list sign up via pop-up, the welcome flow will trigger. So for the welcome flow, the first email, you want to have 0 time delay. You might be wondering, hey, why is there no time delay? You want it to be immediate, right? You want them to immediately get the welcome email. And then for the first time delay, I would usually use 1 day. Also depends on how conservative or how aggressive you want to be with your marketing. But in my case, I'm pretty aggressive. So I'll usually do 1 day or less. And then of course you want to set up the email too. Make sure when you're setting up your emails, I forgot to go through this in previous flow, but you can change your subject line here. So what you want the subject line to be. Ideally, it's a curiosity based, kind of like a hook, short few lines, a few words, sorry. You can scroll down here, you can edit what the email looks like. I will go into email design in another video because I use Figma and I design a lot of emails in Figma. But Klaviyo is also a good, email design tool that you use. Usually I start off with a blank kind of template. I'll drag in an image here, drag in some text, drag in a divider, select an image, and you can, pretty much upload any image you want to upload, and put some buttons. I can just, pull up something like a lamp that I was selling a while back. Here, boom, shop now. Right, it's not the best email, but of course I definitely need a header too. Right here, boom. This is a header that sometimes we're using, and then the logo would go here. This is not a design tutorial at all. I'm just showing you guys where you can make your edits. If you guys want a full kind of design editing tutorial, just comment down below and I'll make sure that I'll include that in the next video. But now here you can change the name of your email. In our case, I want to name my email 1 subject line. Let's say, hey, you there? And then sender name, you want to have a sender profile name, like a brand, right? So let's say our brand name is Kumasaki. And then the sender email address will be, let's say, hugo@kumasaki.com, right? So that's pretty much how it looks like. You can edit all of these things here. This is just a test store. Click on done, and then we'll be good. That's the welcome email number 1. Of course, set your time delay and then edit your email too. It's pretty much the same thing. And as you can see here, you can choose whether or not you want to skip recently emailed profiles. Here too, you can scroll down here. I'll make sure that you uncheck these, right? Because you want to make sure that these are being sent to the customer. All right, so welcome flow, pretty much the first message will be like a brand message from you or founders. So in your welcome flow, you want your emails to look kind of like this. So your first email, you want it to be a welcome plus a discount. Your second email, you want it to be a founder's message. The third email, you want it to cover unique selling points, maybe like free shipping above 200. Our materials are, sourced specifically from Canada or something. Selling points, maybe you have free shipping above $200. Maybe your raw materials are sourced from, Atlantic Ocean. Mention that. Mention your USPs. Nextly, you want to remind them of urgency. Kick them in the ass a little bit. Hey, we're running out of stock. Come actually get your copy or get your product. Number 5, social proof. Ideally, I want the welcome flow to be kind of long, because you're kind of providing them information about your brand. And in each email, you kind of want to nudge them successively towards the buying process, right? You kind of want to push them a bit, right? So email 6, unique selling point again. Email 7, increased discount, gentle shock factor. And in email 8, you want to have that last chance discount, right? Now that we've covered the contents of the welcome flow, let's move on to the next really important flow, which is called the browse abandonment, right? So this is the browse abandonment flow right here. One of the most important flows in Klaviyo. And first of all, the first email is just a reminder-based email reminding them, hey, like you viewed your product on the store, make sure you grab it, right? Email 2 is make them an offer or use USPs, introduce unique elements, establish trust, build some rapport with them. And email 3 is scarcity and urgency with some social proof and shipping info. It doesn't have to be long and it doesn't have to be complicated. All you have to do is click on create flow, click on browse abandonment, boom, and then just click on create. All right, so here you gotta make sure that you have installed the web tracking on the page. So in this case, I haven't set it up yet. So you gotta make sure that is this green before you set it up. And make sure that you can just create flow. And all you gotta do is create flow. The browse abandonment flow is pretty straightforward. All you gotta do is follow what the Klaviyo pretty much thing does. What I would add here is I would add some profile filters. I would say in the last 14 days, 30 days would be a little long here. And I would add a time trigger here, time delay, boom, and then another email. I'll do 3 emails typically for about browse abandonment, and then each of those emails definitely, of course, will defer. Click on boom, you guys know what to do with these. So yeah, that's browse abandonment. Next thing I want to talk about is pricing and charging clients. So let's dive into the whiteboard here. So let's say I get a lot of questions. How should we charge? How should we price email marketing packages? So usually I start off with their email list, right? A really important question you ask your clients is how large is their email list, right? And then you can maybe say like, hey, some clients have a list size of 1K, right? So some clients have a list size of 10K. And some clients have a list size of 50K. Some clients have a list size of 100K or more, right? So is it just dependent on their email list? Like depending on how big their list size is, do we just charge more? No, all right? So how do we actually charge clients for email marketing? The email list does play a role, but secondly is what is their average order value, or how much is their, how much does on average their customers spend with them, right? So let's say that a client that I'm about to sign has an email list of 4,000. So not that much, and he's selling a product for $1,000. But I have another client who has an email list of 20K, and he's selling a product for, let's say, $100. The second guy has a larger email list, but he's selling a lower ticket item, or on average, people spend less with him. Another guy has a 4,000 email list, but he's spending 1,000. So how do we actually charge clients? How I would usually charge to make sure that I definitely make sure the client gets a return is by measuring how many sales I'll be predicting to make him or make her in that certain month. So let's say this person is selling a product for $1,000 and I think that I can make him 4 sales in 1 month with email marketing, then I would charge him around $2,000 to $3,000. And that is honestly very easy to do, right? 4 sales. All right, the second client, I might be able to make him, let's say 100 sales a month with his $100 product. So that's around 10K, right? So I could charge him probably somewhere around 5K, you know, 4 to 5K. I would usually want to either double my investment in the first month, right? If I hired an agency and they doubled my investment in the first month, I'd be pretty happy. So usually that is the case. I would usually take this pricing wise. You know, retainers, a lot of guys charge setup fees. What should you do, right? So if you're charging at 2 to 3K per month retainer, then your setup fee should be around 3 times as much as your monthly retainer. Because a lot of guys, they just want to have their email marketing set up, and then they don't want to have to touch it every morning. They don't want to have to deal with an agency. Best thing to do is to just have it set up and just not look at it ever again. So a lot of people actually just hire email marketing guys just to do setups, and then they just fuck off, right? That's it. So ideally, I would like to have my setup fee around 2 to 3x my monthly retainer. And if they don't take the setup fee, right? So you can say like, hey, I'm setting up everything for you for 6K a month. Email marketing setup fee, let's say 6 automations, which are guaranteed to make them money as long as their business runs. And they do not have to pay us ever again. And you could also say that they never have to hire an agency to do it for them again, right? It's just like a one-time thing, and you do it for them, and you set it up. And you can also say like, hey, it's guaranteed to make you the money back because you'll be running this for a long time. So you could say like, hey, we're gonna help you set up your email marketing for a set setup fee. And they're like, okay, we do like the notion that we do not have to, work with an agency month by month. I like that you guys can just set it up and just fuck off. I don't want to be dealing with people every day. So would you guys care to do maybe 5K a month or 4K a month? And you can be like, hey, we don't do any discounts, but if you want to split up the payments, we do 2 months at 4K or 3 months at 3K, right? You want to be able to split up the payments. So if your 6K setup, if they don't take it, you could do a 2 month at 4K or a 3 months at 3K, right? So you can break it up with them and say, hey, like if you guys can't afford it right now, we do offer payment plans, but this is the scenario that we'll lay out for you. That's how we usually charge. So do take a note if you guys are struggling with pricing and how to charge clients. Do take a look at their email list. Do take a look at their average ticket size. Also, how many different offers they're running. Maybe they're not just running one offer, they might be running different offers. So just make sure that you take a look at their average order value or estimate their average order value. And then I would usually do some calculations into figuring out what the retainer is, and then also making my calculations to figure out what my fixed setup fee is, right? As an email marketing agency owner, you need to know your prices, so make sure that you have all this dialed in.